Today, I will be talking about why college athletes should be paid salaries. I am here to argue that this system is fundamentally unjust. College athletes in revenue generating sports should receive salaries for their labor, not just name, image, and likeness deals, actual salaries paid by their universities, because what we have right now isn't amateur athletics. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry built on the backs of unpaid workers, and it's time we stop pretending otherwise. To begin, the NCAA and its member institutions generate over $18 billion annually. Just in March Madness alone, which is a basketball tournament hosted yearly for the NCAA, generates over $1 billion just from one tournament. College football is an even bigger. College football playoffs alone generate hundreds of millions of dollars. Schools like Alabama, Texas, and Ohio State run athletic programs with revenues exceeding $200 million annually. Head coaches in football and basketball routinely earn $5, $7, and sometimes even $10 million per year. Nick Saban, who was the Alabama head football coach, earned over $11 million annually while he was coaching at Alabama. Even assistant coaches often make more money than university presidents. Meanwhile, the athletes generating this wealth receive scholarships that cover tuition, room, and board, compensation that doesn't even always cover the full cost of attendance. Defenders of the current system argue that scholarships are sufficient compensation. They'll say, these kids are getting a free education worth $50,000 or more per year, but this argument falls apart under scrutiny. Scholarships alone do not cover as much as they should. They just cover the bare minimum of college. They cover just enough to be able to go to the school, and that is if you have a full ride scholarship. Most athletes do not receive that. They receive part scholarships, which may only pay for room and board or tuition or other expenses. An argument to this is most athletic programs lose money. This is technically true but misleading. While many smaller sports operate at a loss, football and basketball at major programs generate massive profits. Another argument is athletes would lose focus on education. Many already struggle to focus on education because of time demands. Besides, this argument is paternalistic. We trust these athletes to choose which university to attend, what to study, and how to manage their lives, but we don't trust them to handle a salary. Professional athletes manage to pursue education and other interests. Olympic athletes balance training with other pursuits. Why would college athletes be different? Small schools wouldn't be able to compete. They already can't compete with larger universities. More importantly, salary structures could be scaled to institutional resources, just as coaching salaries already are. A salary system doesn't require Alabama to pay the same as a smaller program. It requires each institution to fairly compensate athletes relative to the revenue they generate. In conclusion, athletes should receive salaries. It is time to pay the players, not as a favor, not as a privilege, but as fair compensation for their labor, their talent, their time, and their risk. These athletes dedicate their bodies, sacrifice their time, and generate enormous wealth for others. The least we can do is compensate them fairly for it. Thank you.